have a picnic. It'll be all brought out on the bridge up there. I guess if you ain't got nothing else to do, why not?
No, I guess not.
Have magnet fish up there, the regular fish.
We'll call to order the regular meeting for the Upson County Planning Commission for Monday, July 8th, 2024. Can we get roll call, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. Commissioner Pitts.
Yes, sir.
Chair McKinley.
Yes.
Commissioner Hilton.
Here.
Vice Chair Dawson.
Here.
Commissioner Fallon.
Here.
We have quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is adoption of the minutes from the June 10th, 2024 meeting. Any changes, additions, deletions, anybody have for this?
Make a motion to accept.
I second.
All right, all in favor? Okay.
Thank you.
All right, item 3, old business, rules of procedure amendments. This is something we had in our packet last month. Does everybody have theirs with them? For this month? You got it, okay. I think we had asked everybody to go through, there was just a couple of changes. I think Doug's highlighted those in here.
Madam Chair, the only thing that, you may have discussion,
Sure.
certainly on all of them, but under H, that new section where if somebody recuses themselves, that is an or. I would ask that the Planning Commission pick one of those alternatives, basically either the recusing or member due to conflict either remain on the board and just not talk, or they may be required to leave the board but sit in the audience. And again, as I said at your last meeting, I've actually heard about places where if you've got a conflict of interest as a planning commissioner, you need to leave the room. So I would just ask that whichever one of those you want, let's pick one of those, and that'll be your process from now on. The others are what they are.
Yeah. So I'll give my 2 cents. My belief is if you've got a conflict of interest, you should go sit out there because then you become a citizen. I don't think if you don't have a say up here, then you become a citizen. So that's mine. I would prefer to have number 2.
I agree completely. I do too. I'm good.
Okay.
Number 2 it is.
Yep.
By consensus, okay.
Anything else that you guys have looked at in here for new amendment or for new applications will be the maximum number for a regular meeting agenda. And that includes rezoning, variances, special exceptions, subdivision plats. I think that's feasible for this meeting as well as Mr. Courier's office, to not have any more than that. Public hearings, giving the 5-minute to make their remarks. Anything addition to that? Anybody have any questions or concerns with that?
Close reading on that.
Okay. So if all is well, we agree on number 2 for item H. Do I have a motion to approve these?
I'll make a motion to approve with that one change with one.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, thank you very much.
New business is an application for variance 2024-03. Heriberto Ventura, 104 Poplar Grove Drive, parcel 069102. R2 front yard setback. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Make a motion to open public hearing.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Ms. Ventura, you're on the list to speak. Are you wanting to speak? Okay. All right, if you would just come up to the front, state your name and address.
My name is Xenia Ventura. My address is 104 Poplar Grove Drive.
Okay, did you have anything that you wanted to tell us?
Well, just on the setback, well, on the measuring and all of that, on the porch that we're doing, well, my dad's doing. I know he doesn't have a permit, and I know that's what he had to go forward and do first before he did anything. But I don't know if it's not approved or anything like that, then on the paper that he gave us where the cones are at and stuff, if we could just knock everything else down, not the things that we have to knock down, but keep up where we can't keep up in the setback.
So keep, if you have to, go back to the 35-foot mark and keep everything beyond that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on that? Any questions on this? Do we want to get Doug's presentation first? Okay. Can we get your presentation?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is just a summary of the report, although variances tend to be sort of short reports anyway. As you've heard, Ms. Ventura speaking for her father, who has requested this variance to construct, I'm not sure if it's really a carport or a porch or sort of both, but it would encroach somewhere between 8 and 9 feet. I went out there and rolled it and had an approximate where the edge of the road was and where the construction started. So it's somewhere in that 8 to 9 foot encroachment into the setback. And this was detected by finding unpermitted work. That's how we initiated this one. This is a primarily single-family area. It's a lot of heavy woods, and it is a low-density single-family residential area. Again, this is R2. The requirement is the minimum front yard setback. It has to be at least 35 feet from the front property line for all parts of the building. And again, this encroachment is somewhere in the 8 to 9 feet with the construction already initiated. These are the variance standards that you've got to use. The ones that I always focus on, it's got to be an extreme hardship, basically where reasonable use of the property isn't not able to use it unless you get in a variance. Well, they've been living in this home for a very long time, relatively speaking, and obviously, so the property can be used as it is. So the variance isn't necessary for use of the property. And again, I think you heard, and maybe we even sort of heard an offer when I was discussing this without them and doing it out with them when I was out at the property and I had my wheel, they understood where the line was. And we're about to go through the photographs where I show you the approximate line. Now, it will take a bit of that work out that he's already done, but it won't require everything to be taken out that's been done if they meet that 35-foot setback. Again, staff recommends denial on the variance request. And of course, the Planning Commission itself, you've got these same requirements to look at. We would certainly ask that whichever way you vote, you tell us why you're voting the way that you are. So that's part of the record. Going into the photographs, this is the very unique shape of the property on Poplar Grove Drive. You can see that the home is sort of way up here in the northeast section that's sort of jammed up there. Don't know the history of the shape of this property is, but it's kind of unique. Oops, wrong way. All right, this is a little closer. It's going to give you a close-up. Now this is a 2023, and I can't tell you when this aerial is taken from the tax assessor's website. So you'll see that the construction is actually where it looks like there must have been maybe a temporary carport there, one of those metal carports, I'm guessing. And then actually this very large tree is, bush has been removed too from the photographs that you'll see. But where this carport was is where the new construction is. And here's that new construction from the front view from the road. It's a little closer. Now you can see the cone on the right. To get to that 35 feet, that's how far back we would have to take it.
So is that an existing porch on the front? Is that what?
Yeah, there is a porch there now,
Okay.
and I don't believe that's new construction.
Mm-mm.
All right, so you can see the cone to the right. There's another cone off to the left. And there you see where it is on that particular side. Again, you remember the shape of the property from the aerial is kind of curves around, so it's not exactly a straight line. But you can see the old porch and then this new porch slash carport that was being built.
So is that line in line with basically those 6x6?
Yeah, I think on
So-
this side, you're gonna see the cone, and again, this was an estimate. I actually had to push myself through the bushes to place this cone. Again, because of that curve of the road and the property line. So on this side, that's approximately where the cone would be. So yeah, I think that large post probably would be able to stay.
Yes. I rode out there by that this morning. It looks like the 6x6 or whatever it is would be, where your cones are set.
Within the setback.
Yeah.
All right, now their picture captures the two cones, and again, it's sort of because of the roundness of the lot, it curves the way that it does.
If you look at page 5 in your document, you'll see what it looked like originally. That little photo in the top right-hand corner, I remember that from years back.
Page 5 in the,
He's talking about from the tax assessor's website, you'll see you always have a photo on the website of it.
oh, yeah.
And that
Okay,
photo,
right.
you'll see it's
Yeah.
when it was solely a manufactured home. It's
I
been
think it's on page,
augmented
of
since
the,
then.
of the actual document. It would be on page 4, actually, from where I started.
And this is the side view, where you can get a better
Getting
idea
close
of
now.
how far out from the structure.
There you go, that's it. So it has to be an improvement, based on what I'm seeing.
And that concludes the staff report, Madam Chair. And I apologize, it's been too rough, not been too read. Got it right everywhere but on my PowerPoint presentation.
Okay. Any questions? Concerns?
I don't have any.
I don't have any questions, no.
Any comments? Okay. Do I have a motion either way? Or, well, first off, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, do we have a motion for this variance, one way or the other?
You know, based on what little I know about the original piece of property years back, and what these folks have started, even though they transgressed what should have happened with the permit law, I think this would be an improvement, I really do. So I'm in favor of let's get it on and let's go with it. So my motion is to approve.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Huh.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you have a variance. Now you need to pull your permit. Okay, see you back in the office tomorrow? All right.
All right, moving on to item B is the zoning text amendment. We have this included in our packets. Adding some language regarding RV parks, recreational facilities. I'll let Courier kind of go through that, make sure everybody's on.
Sure, Madam Chair, we've basically got 4 relatively minor changes. Well, maybe not minor if you want to develop an RV park. First, basically 2 of these 4 are some housekeeping that I took advantage of the fact that we were asked to make these changes to clean some things up. So you'll see in the very beginning in the definitions section where we've deleted travel trailer and travel trailer park, and that's because when y'all revised the ordinance a few years ago, we came up with new definitions, new and actually better definitions, but I neglected to clean out the old ones. So this is the opportunity to clear out the old definitions. We keep the new definitions that are in the ordinance. The next one is where the rubber hits the road. We have been asked by the county manager and some, if not all, of the Board of Commissioners. They really don't believe that there are circumstances where they can see approving any RV parks in the near future. So rather than have somebody go through the effort and then get denied, if we make these changes, if the Board of Commissioners approves these, when somebody comes in and says, I want to build an RV park, my answer will be no. So that's where this would go. Now you'll see in red, we did have a conversation about the fact that one of the existing RV parks that we have is at Sproul Bluff. And so there was an exchange with emails with the director out there. And then I talked to Jason Tinsley about Sproul Bluff, and basically we included some language that says there actually for Sproul Bluff is envisioned more spaces out there. Don't know when, don't know how, because there's water issues, potable water issues. But Mr. Tinsley said go ahead and reference that master plan, that there may be some additional spots at some point at Sproul Bluff according to the master plan, which has been adopted for a few years now. So I would ask that if you approve this, we include the language here that's in the red that was not in your packets. All right, going on to the 3rd and 4th changes. All right, so this is the additions. Basically, 2821, where we say that a wrecked vehicle park is not to be considered a consumer retail business or service. Every time we've been asked about an RV park in the past, it's always been in the AR. Now what I looked at is, okay, if we're going to eliminate this from anywhere in Upson County, where else might somebody ask to put it? Well, there's nothing else, for instance, in C2 that allows for recreation type uses. However, probably could be argued that potentially an RV park is either a consumer retail business or service. So what this does is say that no, in Upson County we consider it a recreation facility, and that would eliminate anybody asking me and to just open one in a C2. So because we do allow for one very first thing on the principal uses in C2 is consumer, retail, business, or services. So this will just eliminate the possibility of somebody saying that we want an RV park in the C2. Then we've got brand new language after that, basically saying that not only are they prohibited, but you also can't expand the ones that we have, whether it's by area or number of spaces, campsites. And again, this is the direction that I was given from the administration. And then 2827, that last section about the registries, is something else I neglected to do again when y'all did the RV park ordinance change a few years ago. There is a definition of what a registry is in the ordinance, but I never put in a requirement that they have a registry. So I'm taking advantage of this to ask y'all and the Board of Commissioners to get that registry as a requirement. Obviously, there's no new parks that are going to happen, but to make sure this registry is going on with the existing parks. And again, the purpose of that is, as you may remember from the discussions we've had the last few months, is you're not allowed to live permanently in an RV park. You've got 180 days, that's the definition in Upson County of camping. After that, you have to be gone. Well, if they keep these logs, we get complaints, or we want to audit them, we can go to these logs and say, hey, where's your registry? We need to look it over. And obviously there are other ways we can take photographs. If somebody says, I think this particular RV's been in there longer than, we can document it other ways, but the registry might be our first way to check on that. So again, this is a little housekeeping that I should have taken care of a few years ago.
Is there guidance or required information in there somewhere that the registry has to include?
And anticipation, this is the definition that is in the ordinance now. A visitor camper registry is an electronic and/or paper record of each RV by vehicle tag, state, and number that remains in a park for any overnight stay of 1 night or longer. The registry shall indicate by date every day that the vehicle is present on the property. The registry shall list all occupants of each registered RV, indicating by date every day that the occupants are present on the property. So that's existing now. As I said, I was smart enough to get in a definition. I wasn't smart enough to actually make it a requirement of our RV parks. So this is the current definition of what a registry is and what it would have in it.
Would we want to include an ID for those occupants? Unless they're minors,
Meaning,
like a state
Photocopy
issued
of
ID, yeah.
okay,
If you've got the number off of the RV itself.
I mean, that's assuming that's that person's RV and it's not a
But
rented RV.
bottom line is whether or not that unit is there over 180 days,
Yeah.
No,
I'm just thinking like if law enforcement came through there, if there was something, a storm or something else that who's physically what people are there, not just how many people. I'm just throwing that out for conversation.
well, the last one, the registry shall list all occupants of each registered RV. So we don't require the license. If you want to do that.
I'm just asking if that's something that, okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there while we're going through this exercise.
Absolutely. So those are the changes. Again, the big one obviously is that, when somebody comes to my office and asking about establishing an RV park, we'll say no, which is what we currently say about tiny homes. I got that call either
Tiny home?
Monday.
So that's still,
It was either last week, Friday or Monday, today I got that.
that's still been tabled by our commission.
Well, and you heard the presentation by shifting gears to tiny homes. I certainly have asked WSP, our consultant on that, to introduce that in the ordinances somewhere, somehow. Because that, if you recall, that's what we were told by the Board of Commissioners, is they didn't want to even talk about tiny homes again until after the comp plan was adopted. Well, the comp plan's been adopted. Let's see what they say this next time. So, yeah, well, certainly, I've asked our consultant to include that somewhere in there where we would allow. Now, if you recall briefly, the ordinance that we had drafted would allow them in the equivalent of a tiny home park, similar to the design park for RVs. And then we also had language in there that would have allowed them into manufactured home parks. We got mixed responses to that one, maybe even from some of you, I don't recall now. Maybe it was just the commissioners. But anyway, something like that, I would certainly hope our consultant will put into these major changes that you should see later this year.
All right. Any questions, comments, concerns with any of this? Do I have a motion to
I'll make a
adopt
motion to
as
accept.
is, with noting the added language about Squirrel Bluff?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Unanimous, thank you very much. This will go to the Board of Commissioners next month.
All right. Item 5, other business. Is there any other business?
None from staff.
Item 6, planning commissioner issues and announcements.
I don't have any.
None.
All right. Item 7, secretary's issues and announcements.
This is very simple. You all know that tomorrow night is the Board of Commissioners, and both of your cases that you spent the last few months on are going to the Board of Commissioners. It's pretty much the only thing on the agenda tomorrow. So I hope with the Generations Church and the Storehouse Church cases, so those rezones will be going to the Board of Commissioners tomorrow.
And that starts at 6.
6 o'clock in this room tomorrow night.
All right. Nothing else. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very
You're
much.
adjourned.
10 is 5:55.
Wow,
Thank you, Mr. Doug.
broke a record there.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, I guess I.